Alright, welcome back. This is our fun and efficient leveling series. We are somehow still going. I think at this point we've probably made it about as far, if not farther, than ever before in terms of like number of episodes especially. I have put together the Saber60 now on the Fortuna feeder. It did seem the cost difference of buying it at Mosquito and or Winding seemed worth it to travel there and back. Especially if you're buying anything else, but it was a pretty significant cost difference. So we do have 11.5 line on here for bream. We're going to be using 9.7 fluorocarbon leader. When we switch to things besides bream, I really wanted to be able to use a 11.3 liter. But we don't have that, so we'll just keep using this leader until we go to Corey, which we'll try to do soon. I even thought about doing it this episode, but we are pretty low on silver, so it just feels like it's a good time to go test the bream spot at Old Berg. Let's see how our new 9.7 liter size does on our new rig. Let's see it in action a little bit. And hopefully make a little bit of money, and then maybe next episode we can, in fact, go to Corey. We'll see. I am just not as familiar with this spot. 4332. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So we've got the right baits. We got a new size 8 hook. We're going 15. And we want to do sort of right in between south and east. And this is still our, what used to be our strongest reel, the Adriatica. We do have this one on Paternoster. Clipping is at 15 already. And again, in that same spot. And we do have an 8 hook on, just making sure. And then finally, this one's at basic bottom, just again to have some rig variety. We will probably stop doing that soon because we're going to unlock the inline rig. And then we'll be moving at least 1 or 2 of them to inline, and then perhaps keep the other one on Paternoster. Okay. So here we are. I will try to look at recent messages, especially after bream fishing slows down a little bit. First fish on our new rig, and I should show you the new rig a little bit more detailed. I quickly went over it, but let's look at it a little more closely. Now this will be interesting. I've heard that this spot might be slowing down a little bit, which would have been a pretty quick turnaround. It hasn't been super active for that long, so I hope it's not slowing down yet, but we'll see. Just did it yesterday and it was amazing. I wanted to find where, I think it was, let me see. Trying to find a spot real quick, y'all. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll check that out. Trying to figure out what we're going to do once it's daytime. Okay, so far we are into bream time, by the way. And they are looking smaller so far. Hopefully that will change. Alright, there we go. All right, there's our first one over a kilo. We started a little later than normal, but my judge of a bream spot is, do we get 12 bream over a kilo? And we're off to a slow start if that's going to happen. The other thing we haven't seen yet are white bream. And that was the nice thing about this spot, was not only the bream size so big, but the white bream were coming in occasionally too. Okay, so here's the new rig. We did go with the Fortuna Feeder FD420. And I looked at some of the more expensive options just to make sure we didn't want to save a little longer. And I think it's worth going ahead and getting this one. This is a very solid feeder, and we'll be able to use this for a long time. The next feeder we get probably will be a little bit nicer, even up to maybe the Model 2 range, something like that. But we put our new Saber60 on there. We've got 11.5 mono line, which is slightly overloaded to give us a little more strength if we're not using the 9.7 fluorocarbon leader. Just put our cheap basket on there because, again, we're about to be switching to inline very soon. In fact, we're at 49.9, so I will be surprised if we don't hit that 0.1% during this session. All right, here's our second one, over a kilo, I believe. Let's make sure our leaders are all correct. That's fluorocarbon. And then our middle line should have just straight fluorocarbon line on it with no leader. Yes, that's correct. 7.7 fluorocarbon line. So we've got fluorocarbon on everything, different strength fluorocarbon. We've got fluorocarbon on everything, which should be great for fishing these bream. There's another one, really nice one. And as long as we have some decent fishing here, we'll also hit level 17. And then we'll be able to quickly put those 2 points into inline, as long as we actually do get that 0.1% and open up inline. There's another one over a kilo. So now they're starting to come in. Spot's starting to seem like it normally does. Yeah, our new rig here is catching some nice ones. And that's why typically on my main account, I will use another one over a kilo. I will use 9.7 or even 10 kilo as my fluorocarbon leader for bream fishing. I don't think that you get penalized at having that sort of size diameter fluorocarbon. I think some people tend to use like 5.4 more often, but at least in the past, I've caught a lot of trophies on 9.7, 10 kilo size line. Now I know yesterday when we started fished this spot, there's a crucian. We started at, like 2 hours, at least 2 hours in game, maybe more before bream time started, official bream time, and we got some decent markers, so that kind of made it look even better. But we're already up to 6. This spot, I think, is still going to be great. If we had started early, we'd probably be up to 8 or 9 already, and it's not even 2 a.m., so there's another one. We made so much silver here yesterday. Some of that was that 89 silver order that we were able to get. I want to check audio. Everything just seems so quiet to me. Maybe I just need to turn it up a little bit locally. I made a good bit more of the fake bream mix to use, but also to level up ground bait. We're getting close enough to 30% that wouldn't be that much silver to just like grind through it. And once we get to 30%, we can make real bream ground bait, which is awesome. So I think we might even see some more trophies starting to come in once we can get the real deal ground bait going. So in the 8 hook I got was Simmons Silk Series CL15S8, and it's a 4-star hook, so we're kind of getting into the nicer hooks without going all the way down to like the bottom line of berserks and all that. I'm not sure if that was just tiny bream or a white bream, but either way it popped off. Speaking of hook problems. But I do just sort of shift reel anything that's smaller in terms of bream in, so it's going to happen some. But you just kind of want to get that bait back in the water as quick as you can to have a chance of catching another 1 kilo plus. There's a nice white bream. So they are still here. So we still haven't hit 50%. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we can use Inline Rig. I actually should have gone ahead and switched this one to Paternoster, I guess. Or maybe I just leave. Yeah, I want to have Paternoster and Inline now. Alright, so we leveled up. Let's switch this to Inline. And we're going to use an Inline Feeder. So this is not a regular feeder, this is an Inline Feeder. You do have to purchase those separately from the regular feeders. And then let's get garlic dough. And then let's increase our points. So we can put 2 points in Inline Rig right from the start to increase our trophy chance and hopefully just the quality of fish overall. And now we're good to go. Which I think what I will do is wait till we get another inline feeder, and then I'll switch this one to inline as well. And then at that time, we'll put the third one, which is now on basic bottom, we'll put the third one on Paternoster. So we'll have 2 inlines and 1 Paternoster. So that was the first fish we've caught on inlines while we got that achievement. That is a nice looking setup. One of my favorite combos there. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 12. So we've got 11 over a kilo. Really nice white bream. As long as we get one more over a kilo, then this will pass the bream test. By the way, this is, there we go. This is the picture representation of the inline, and it talks about how it slides freely along the main line, and it's best suited for fishing moderate-sized fish in standing water. It says the disadvantage of this rig is its mediocre auto hooking. There we go. That's a white. Now, one thing we haven't seen that we saw yesterday in this spot is the bream that were over 3 kilo. I'll have to double check, but I don't think we've had any over 3 kilo, yeah. And only 3 over 2. So it's always nice when you get 1 or 2 over 3, because the amount of silver that you get for those does go up significantly. And you know at that point you're getting a little closer to trophy size at least. nice one. There we go. You know, we only have so much longer that we'll be using this before we get real bream mix. So I think we start drawing off the 10 out of 10s actually. Instead of, usually what I do is I start with the lowest rated that I've kept and then kind of work my way up. But we know that eventually we'll be making actual bream mix and probably just deleting the whatever fake bream mix we have left. So I think we're going to start going with 10 out of 10 quality for a while when we're fishing for bream. And we'll just stay in this spot till we get several in a row that are much smaller, or till about 10 a.m., whichever one comes first. I think we've got to go by town and purchase some maggots. If I remember correctly, we were out of maggots on this account. We're still getting markers consistently, though. Okay, let's see. Someone corrected me on my pronunciation of that really big fish in South America from Fishing Planet. Trout Gamer says, is the Everest 2 worth buying? You know, so that's from my main account. I still have the Everest 2 as my weakest of my 3 rods for carp fishing. I still say the Everest 2 is one of the nicest looking reels in the game. I don't think in modern time that it probably isn't worth buying. There's probably better options at this point. I'd have to be looking in the store to say that for sure. I don't remember sort of the cost and strength compared to the competitor reels for that level range. But my suspicion is that it would just be worth getting things like the Tagara instead. Again, I'd have to look at the strength of the Everest 2, but the Everest 2 is a fine reel. It's probably not worth getting at this point. I think there's better options. When we go get maggots, I'll try to look briefly at it. But back in the day, it was one of the top reels. It was really nice. Thea Herrera says, really nice spot for bream. Always carp markers. then transfer to 4720 for tench using maggots and crucian gibble mix. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to try today, actually. That was why I was trying to find that comment earlier. I think we will finish off this episode by fishing down at the bridge for a little bit and just see if there's any tench activity or anything else that we can catch down there. We'll probably put potatoes on our new rig. See if that catches anything. Someone says, hey, do you want to be friends? Although your name is used to earn make money online, so I don't think so. I'm surprised you didn't catch a black carp yet. That was Cohen talking about, I think, that spot where we were catching the grass carp. And yeah, just random with those black carp showing up. And Gray Cow says, what? My golden tench made it to the weeklies? Absolutely. And then Skillful was first. Thanks for all the comments and all the support. I really appreciate it. All right, it definitely feels like it has slowed down, right? Not that you couldn't still catch a marker. You probably could, but the bite rate now is getting pretty slow. All right, let's hustle back to town, and then we'll look at the Everest 2, get maggots, and then go try 4720 just for a little bit. All right, any orders that are interesting? So that tench order, if we find some tench, is doable. But besides that, really nothing. I guess it's worth seeing, like, how did we do in, how long was that? 25 minutes of fishing, 115 silver. It's just hard to beat. Not until you get to really, really hot spots, typically at higher level lakes, do you come close to that kind of silver consistently. Okay, we were going to look at reels really quick. So spinning reels, now this is Old Bird prices, but we'll be comparing to Old Bird prices, so that'll be fine. All right, so the Everest 2, the one I have on my main, is 22 kilo for 11,000. So it's a little cheaper than I remembered. So 22 kilo strength. A lot of people are liking this caliber. It's not as much strength, but it is a heck of a lot cheaper. So that maybe this is one reason why you might not go with the Everest. And then someone I talked to lately had a Natura. I don't know how much this costs, but you're getting pretty close to the same max drag. Someone was telling me they really like their Natura. I've never tried the Natura. It's probably like 5,000-6,000, I'm guessing, but so that might be another option you might choose over the Everest. And then going on this side of the Everest, 22 kilo. I don't even think people are getting mayors that much anymore. And it's 19 kilo and a lot cheaper. I really think it's just worth saving up for. I mean, I'd be curious, how much does the Tagara 8,000 cost compared to the... This is probably a much nicer reel than that Everest 2 overall. And the Tagara 10,000 could definitely be worth saving for. So I'm just guessing, and here's the caliber. 17.5. Again, much cheaper and still really nice. 17.5 kilo. So I think those are some of the reasons why you probably don't go Everest 2 anymore, just to be honest. I really like my Megara, but again, you're getting to big boy territory and it's a lot more expensive, but a lot better reel. All right, the one thing we were supposed to get here. So I think to answer your question, I don't know that I would purchase an Everest 2 anymore. But man, they look nice. It's really good design on the reel graphically. Okay. So let's try potatoes down here on our main rig, and then maggots on the other two. See if we can catch some tench or just some other random stuff before we wrap this up. And if we don't start getting bites pretty quick, we'll move around to that other spot we've been using lately. I honestly am not sure if 4720 has been as good as it normally is lately. Normally this spot is terrific, but I'm just not sure it's been. All right, we're going to keep inline. I don't know that I have any more fake carp mix, do I? So I think we just go with Crucian Gibble. And we want to switch to the carp hook with potatoes. And I think we actually take the fluorocarbon leader off. I don't think we need a fluorocarbon leader. We just kind of want to be fishing in this whole area. Honestly, is good. I'm going to put this one down over there. And on this guy, let's decrease the hook size a little bit. Let's go with 12 and maggots and Crucian Gibble. And let's go down to like 8 or 9. We're going to just kind of cast. We'll do one here at 9. And then I think on this one we might even go down to like 7. So we'll go to 14 hook on this one. This is obviously our weakest rig at this point. We're going down to 7 clip. Put it right there in the good stuff. And let's just see if we're getting any bites in this area right now. Alright, somebody's asking about common carp places, Old Berg. I think right now 5313 is pretty decent. So we are getting a nibble here. And it is a bream. Can't get away from them, folks. They like us. And we like them. I do want to mark this 5313 spot on my little map. stuff. Potatoes, maggots, etc. Short clip into mossy area is what I'll call it. And really what we're saying is carp tench and stuff. And I like marking these spots because down the road spots will have changed, but sometimes it's good to go back and try old spots because they warm up again. All right. Let's go try 5313 right now. I really wanted to try to catch at least one carp on our new rig. Do some damage to our Saber. I'm going to leave that rod set up so we can maybe catch another fish on it while we're setting up these two. See if this spot's still working. If you've just reached Old Berg, I mean, used to what I would just tell everyone that just got to Old Berg is come down here, fish with bread and worms, some of the same baits you've been using at Mosquito, pearl barley, and typically you could just like catch 100 fish in an hour kind of spot. Not all of them are great fish, but you know, some of them will be. But I'm not sure if that spot's quite as hot right now as it usually is. So just sort of test it and see how it is for you at this point. If you are just hitting level 12 and don't have the gear to go for bigger stuff yet. But if there's an active bream spot like there is now, even with smaller gear, you can kind of make some hay with that. Ooh, trophy bream order, that's nice. Is that how you spell rubles? I'm not even sure. Okay. Let's see what it is. There's our first carp. Alright, I think I'm going to go try this other spot. Not because of the carp, but because of how slow the maggots seem to be right now. Although it is that time of day where things are just going to be slow. So in this spot, I really recommend at least going 9 clip. so you don't get stuck on any ghost snags or anything. So we're going to try this. Now this spot tends to get a lot of grass carp, but we're going to give it a whirl. Oh shoot. It's too quick. Okay. Make sure we get it far enough to be a little bit away from shore. We'll see how much time I have, but I would be tempted to try to get another session in on bream sometime today while they're still so hot, especially if there'll be a trophy order up for a little while. Just give it a try. All right, something's on here. Nice. That's what we want to see. 3 kilo common carp. That's what we want. Every once in a while I get a gibble or a crucian on potatoes these days. It's a little weird. Alright, we'll give it another couple minutes here and then we'll wrap this episode up. Again, when you've got stuff to do, like crafting to do or whatever, this bream spot is so good, it's almost worth not getting too invested in other spots. Because you can fish that bream spot probably 14 hours a day, effectively, I would say. Come on, be a nice one. Yeah. Move to the left immediately. We want to make sure it does not get out under the bridge. We've got our friction brake up to 29 right now. Trying to wear it out instead of letting it do too much damage to our reel. But if it's big, it's going to do damage. See if we can just pull it right in here. I think we can. This is the perfect size carp for us to catch. It's either a little grass carp or a decent common. 8.5 grass carp, 4,000 experience. So you can start doing a little bit fancier stuff when you get a little stronger gear. It's very fun. Ooh, for a second I thought that one was stuck, but we're good. So the tench haven't showed up, but they will sometimes. They will sometimes. And from down here, it's just faster to relog to get back to the cafe and stuff instead of running back. But yeah, it seems like it'd be a good time. That bream spot's still really strong. While it's this strong, it seems like it'd be a good time to just hit it. Hit it really hard. So we want to sort of balance at this point, especially thinking about trips to quarry. We want to balance continuing to level our bait harvesting, especially that, with getting another upgrade. We've got one more rig to upgrade before we can even think about fishing for different species and stuff at Bear, which will become an option at level 18. But if we can get one more upgrade, then we can at least start flirting with the idea of doing that. Yeah, that bream order is nice. It'll be up for about 100 hours. We never did catch the tench, so I think we're good. All right, let's see if we made any money. Yeah, 140 silver. So nice. That grass carp was 15 silver by itself. And it took us no time to get it in. Now, if that had taken us, like, you know, with lesser gear, we'd have been fighting that for a little while. And so the value to time becomes a little less. But very nice. Back up to almost 200 silver. Okay, as always, I appreciate you watching. And we'll see. I don't know if we'll do quarry next or if we might get one more bream session in while it's good. But I will see you next time.